Hey, brother, this is day 16 on our journey to hold fast together in a day of turbulence and confusion and wickedness. We've been talking about the kingdom of God and how Jesus says, as a part of the kingdom of God, you have great influence. But these influences are quiet and they're subtle, but they are very powerful. So we've talked about the influence that we are salt, that we preserve and flavor society and the culture and our family around us. We also influence because we are light. We bring truth, not only objective truth, but we bring personal and wisdom truth to lives of people. Well, today we want to talk about the fact that we also are leaven. We are like yeast. And Jesus says in Matthew 13, verse 33, that the kingdom of God is like yeast or leaven that permeates the entire lump that this woman is using to make bread. Now, I'm a very fortunate man because my wife is a bread maker. And for decades, I've watched her make bread, and she has perfected this, and I love her bread. And I've watched how when she adds yeast to the lump, and the lump is very simple. It's just flour and water and a little bit of oil, and it's really lifeless, and it's almost tasteless. You wouldn't want to bake that, but when you add yeast to it, it makes another whole aspect of this bread. It adds gaseous pockets to the bread, and it rises and it adds flavor. So I've watched her let this lump rise. It's called the sponge. Then she punches it down, punches all the air out of it, and lets it rise again slowly so that the yeast will permeate every aspect of this lump. And then she puts it in the oven and makes that delicious smelling and great tasting bread. Well, this is what Jesus is talking about. Think about how our lives can influence the lump of society. If we walk into this culture with the fruit of the Spirit in our lives, here's what it's called in Galatians chapter 5. It's called love, joy, peace, gentleness, self-control, goodness, faith. Against these things there is no law. These kinds of fruits in our lives influence all those around us in minute ways, but they do it slowly, but they do it undeniably. Now, also leaven is used in a negative way. The Apostle Paul mentions in Galatians 5 and in 1 Corinthians 5 that a little leaven of evil can also influence the entire lump. The leaven of legalism and performance, the leaven of immorality, the leaven of false teaching can also permeate our culture. But we combat that not so much doing it frontally, but living a life that lets the fermentation of the Spirit of God in our own lives begin to permeate and influence the lives of others. So Jesus said, not only let your light shine, but Jesus said, let your life permeate and influence those around you. So think about the fruit of the Spirit in your life, the difference that compassion would make today, the difference that a gentle answer would make, the difference that self-control and generosity might make in those around you, in your family, in your workplace, in our society at large. What a wonderful opportunity we have knowing that these things we do just to live our life in the Lord and before the Lord in society will make a lasting influence. Trust Him for that. Live in this way today, and God bless you.